Yeah, some people have a hard time like understanding that you can not like a movie, but also think the actor does a good job in it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just can't understand the difference. Like if I say I like what's his name as Ultron, like what's his name
James
from
Spader.
Blacklist? James Spader. Yeah, like I think he was a great choice as the voice of Ultron.
He's
but
got that distinct voice.
yeah, but the way that he was written, I felt like, all right, he's not really a threat to me. Like, or I didn't feel that threatened by him compared to like other villains. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
the way the character's written can be like, okay, James Spader's good in it, but the character or villain was just kind of forgettable.
So does it work the other way too? Like, could you not like an actor or not like a role in a movie, but like the movie?
You mean like like Don't Be a Menace? Like how you
Don't be a menace.
like how you like you talking about how you like
Menace to
Menace to Society.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I was like, don't be a menace.
But with Lamar, it's not that he didn't like the character. He's just acknowledging that the guy was a bad actor.
Right. It's so I kind of see it through I know what he was going for. He's not a good actor, but I understand the role. So it makes sense in the movie, but he's just not a good actor.
Was your question, Lamar, can you like a movie but not like a character in the movie? Or
if you don't like a main character in the movie, but you still love the movie, does that work?
I can't think off the top of my head, but I've had that. I've even had that with TV shows.
Right.
So we're all like the show, but not like the main character in the show. So I'm sure that there's movies I just can't think of any right now.
But. Okay, so my feelings are validated for Black Knight.
Black Knight with Martin Lawrence?
The Dark Knight.
I think that's what you meant.
See, Josh rubbing off when you said W.
But we said that though. We said you could not like Christian Bale, but the movie was still good.
Oh, so you guys accept that from me?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But I think you were kind of like dogging the movie as a whole is how we were taking it. We were like, you can still like the movie and not like Christian Bale.
Oh no, that's what I always said. Like I wish it was called The Joker. Like I wish it wasn't Christian Bale's movie. I wish it was the Joker's movie.
But you know what's funny? It's like there's a lot of, it's not just him in it. There's he's the main guy.
Yeah.
But there's like other scenes where he's like with Michael Caine or Morgan Freeman, like he's around all these other good actors that makes up for like that voice, or because he doesn't make the movie for me. It's Joker and everything else. You know what I mean? Like he's not in it enough, like by himself. Unlike another comic book movie, DC movie where
what I was gonna say.
I'm not gonna say it.
I was gonna say when I think Dark Knight, I think Joker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Batman, even though Dark Knight is Batman. When you say the movie Dark Knight, I automatically go to Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Right.
That's my first thought. So and I don't know if that's because of Christian Bale per se, or if it's just that the Joker just overtook that movie. So
well, he did. Okay, okay. So even in the other Batman with Bane, when I think about that Batman movie, I think of Bane because I think Bane was just fucking crazy.
But you also like Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Well, I like Batman Begins. I don't know if you guys really care for that one, but I liked that.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. And
I don't even remember it.
Yeah. I mean, I that was one of those movies I was talking hella shit about, but here's one thing when I want from like up and coming like comic book movies, like a good origin story. Like to me, that had a really great origin story. But you had other people in it, like what's his name? Liam Neeson, Morgan Freeman. Like, you got a great cast to help support Christian Bale. So it's not like he's on his own. There's so many other people in it that I enjoy that have equal amount of screen time, or in it enough to make me like want to go watch the movie again. But if the main character is bland and all the other characters around them are bland too, and you don't give a shit about anybody in the movie, then that's where I can't get into the movie. If I don't like that one person, if I don't love to hate somebody or vice versa, if I just don't care in general, I'm not gonna want to see them with. Like, there's some movies I'd be like, oh, that's cool, but one and done.
If they're in there enough to annoy you, then it's like, okay, fuck this movie.
Yeah. So no, because there was Val Kilmer was the last Batman. I was gonna ask, was there
That never happened.
Wait, no, are you talking about the last Batman before Christian Bale came in?
So I was gonna say, was there a Batman between Michael Keaton and Christian Bale? See how I totally just overlooked the other two Batmans?
Yeah.
But and I think that goes into what I'm about to say now. The reason why, because I didn't watch Batman Begins initially. I don't think I watched it until The Dark Knight was about to come out, and I was like, okay, let me watch it so I know what I'm going into. Because I was like, there's no Batman better than Michael Keaton. So why the hell are they bringing yet another Batman in?
Yeah.
So when I did watch Batman Begins, I didn't hate it, but it was like, once I saw The Dark Knight, that was the only Batman movie in that franchise that I cared about.
Yeah.
Even The Dark Knight Rises, I think I saw it once and haven't cared to go back to see it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one was Bane? Which one was Bane in?
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like Bane, but I understand what you guys are saying. It's like I didn't go watch it again. I just like Bane, the character.
Yeah. Even though I could barely understand him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could barely make out what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. He was cool. Anne Hathaway was cool in it.
But see, with that, I was like, Michelle Pfeiffer is my Catwoman.
Yeah.
So she wasn't Catwoman like Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman.
Yeah, it sucks that Halle Berry didn't do as good of a job.
See, that doesn't count. But
that didn't happen either.
that didn't happen.
No, not at all. I'm probably like the only person. Okay, there's a lot of people that say they hate, and it is a bad movie, like Batman and Robin. Like they hate it. When I watch Batman and Robin or Batman Forever, they're entertaining. That's all. They're guilty pleasures. But I've seen a lot worse comic book movies that are a lot worse than that actually thought they had something on their hands. They were trying to be too serious.
You want to drop any names, Josh?
Yeah, I feel like you got a name in your mind.
What's up?
No,
not that one. No, I'm talking about worse, like fucking like Ghost Rider, it may be Elektra, that didn't count. The first Hulk.
What about Daredevil?
I haven't gone back to watch that, but I'm pretty sure I'll say the same thing. Like, I liked it as a kid growing up, but like I haven't gone back to watch it, especially after the show came out.
To me,
Green Lantern. Let me say, Green Lantern is at the bottom of the fucking barrel. I don't know, that and Ghost Rider 2 fucking sucked.
But
yeah,
DC movies have always had a tendency to be boring.
Like, is Green Lantern, is that boring. Marvel or DC?
That's DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
so like I was caught by surprise with Man of Steel. I was like completely shocked. The only reason I watched Dark Knight was because of the hype behind Heath Ledger. That's the only reason. I wouldn't have watched that shit if that hype wasn't behind it. Because it's like they have this tendency of and you guys know how I feel about dialogue, but it's like it's almost not important dialogue. Like I don't give a shit after a while. Now you guys are just talking. You know what I mean? And they always had a tendency to do that with their movies.
Yeah.
Except for Man of Steel, and then except for Dark Knight because of the Joker.
To me, it seems like they can only make like Batman movies. It seems like people give a shit about Batman and don't give a fuck about Superman because he's the good boy.
Because it's always been boring.
Yeah,
Superman has always been a boring character.
I think he's cool. You know, to me, I didn't give a shit about any of the Marvel characters like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, until they made the movies where I was like, okay, I like them in it. Because it was, like I said, Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, Fantastic Four, like all these things that it's like shows growing up.
Yeah.
And then when they made the first Iron Man, I was like, oh, okay, that was really cool because the bar was really low for superhero movies. Like every movie I went to, like the year before that, they had Spider-Man 3 was fucking bullshit. They had Ghost Rider bullshit. They had like, a lot of disappointments. What's up?
I like one of those.
1 and 2. The first one.
I like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
But I did like the Spider-Man in between. I liked that one.
I didn't watch
Spider-Man 3. I hate this.
No. The one we were talking about before. It's like a different Spider-Man. It's a different.
Oh, the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I liked that one. I feel like so because I don't care. I don't care as much as everybody else about the superhero stories. Like I don't care about them sticking to that. What I took it from a writing point of view to where it was like this is a different tale of Spider-Man. I didn't even know there was two different Spider-Mans. So when they did that, I was like, oh, this is a more serious approach than the Tobey Maguire, and that's why I liked it.
Yeah, the first one is one of those things changed my mind. I didn't care for it the first time I watched it. Went back to watch the second time. I'm like, all right, I like it a little bit better. The Amazing
Tobey
Spider-Man.
Maguire or okay, Amazing
The
Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield one, yeah.
Yeah.
But now after Dark Knight, they're like, okay, we're gonna do a more serious, more gritty tone. And I'm all like, okay, cool. But there was also a fucking, like I said, origin story, backstory, whatever it is, that Christopher Nolan did with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. So you're doing all this stuff. You're thinking about all like the cool, dark, serious tone, but everything else about it, everything else I like about Dark Knight, that's what they're missing.
Mhm.
It seems like they're not really getting what we like the what's called substance and style.
Right.
So when Amazing Spider-Man came out, I was kind of like, it's cool, but what was the real purpose besides making money? Like, what was going to be like something you were
and
going
that's what
to...
I'm saying. It's like because you actually know the backstories, you give a shit about the backstories. So I just take it as a movie. Like I don't too much know about the backstories. I didn't know. Isaiah told me it was 2 different Spider-Mans. I didn't even know. Like he was like, it's not the same Spider-Man. I'm like, what do you mean? It's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's still Spider-Man, right?
Did you like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Jamie Foxx and all the other ones they tried to do?
He knows me. He knows my name.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
All right, I agree with you. Okay. First one I thought was cool. I did like some things they did with it. I wish they kind of would have done more with it to be like, all right, you bringing it back for a reboot. You know, if you want to change some things up, but cool, that's cool, you know. But, you know, give me a good origin story if that's what you're trying to do.
I feel like with the Jamie Foxx one, I feel like they found a cool way to do a villain. And they just was like, let's just write a story around this cool ass villain.
Yeah.
Because it was a little too extreme for his character. It was too over the top with what they were doing with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. It was
a little weird.
I thought the fight scenes looked cool, but
that's what I'm saying. That's their whole focus is on that. Their whole focus is on Jamie Foxx being this electric guy and doing all this other shit. It seemed like they came up with that idea first. It was like, okay, we got to hurry up and get a movie around this.
Yeah, they were trying to force what's it called? Because you know the Sinister Six. Exactly. But that's the thing. It's like, okay, if you want to focus on the Sinister Six for the fans, that's cool. But like for somebody who's not familiar with it, you might want to do each movie where it's like Spider-Man versus this one, and the next one versus 2 more villains. So, you know, that didn't work out for this one because they were trying to do it all in one movie. That's what they're setting up. They were setting up their own little MCU because it was Sony, not Marvel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I was talking to Sam about this, and here's the thing. If Disney never would have bought Marvel, like the MCU, it would be on Paramount Plus because Paramount is actually the studios that did Iron Man. Oh, so shit. They actually started, if you want to think about it, Jon Favreau, the director of Iron Man, and Paramount actually started the MCU. And once Avengers worked out, I think Disney was like, oh shit, okay, that's a moneymaker right there. So,
let me talk to you real quick.
Like I said, they expanded the MCU. They did a lot to it, but they didn't begin it. But that's how Disney is. Taking other people's property.
I fucking liked WandaVision though.
Did it finish? Did it end?
Yeah,
it ended. I liked it. Cool. I know you got some critiques, Josh. I know because you know background stories. So I kind of took it for what it was.
When it comes to like Scarlet Witch or Vision, I like even there's a lot of stories that I don't even know about that people do. I just know like the basic stuff. Like, you know, Vision, it was cool seeing Vision, the other Vision as a bad guy because he started out as a bad guy in the comic books.
Right. Okay.
Like he was fucking up everybody. Like I thought they downplayed Vision in the movies because he's really somebody you don't want to fuck with. So
okay, so I'm not wrong for feeling that because I don't know what movie he was introduced in to Marvel where he came in, he was like fucking shit up. He was like the guy you don't want to fuck with, and then he got soft as shit. Like
for real,
like 2 movies later, he was like a regular soft ass nerd. Yeah. I was like, he was presented as this killer, like he was like the don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
But it's like they dumbed it down or mellowed him all the way out. Because I was like, he's not even the.
Yeah. Nah, and in the I guess in the comic books, but I'm going by the cartoon. Is that you know when Ultron made him, he was a straight up villain. So they had to fucking put up a good fight to make him like, you know what? I think humans do deserve to survive or whatever. You know, like they had to, you know, like I said, whip his ass. It's just one dude taking on this whole team. and that's what convinced him to be like, all right, I'm changing my views on like like the way Ultron sees it. So, but then again, in a movie like that, they had to rush it and just be like, hey, here's Vision. Let's make him look cool, badass. But like I said, it seemed like he was really downplayed compared to like what I've seen in other parts.
So I benefit from not really knowing backstories then, because I could just take the show or the movie for what it is. There's a lot of people that are just like, they pick this whole shit apart. Every episode they were like, this, and no, that don't make sense, but she was this and the Scarlet Witch, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I like
yeah. I mean, even if you don't do exactly from the comic book, you know, I don't mind it. But like, well, I guess, you know, somebody like Man of Steel, I can understand why you liked it, because if you don't really care about the character, then it's cool. But as time went on, I actually started liking the character of Superman for different reasons. And then when I saw the movie, I'm like, oh man, this might be cool. You know, I'll get the action I wanted. Because when I saw the original Supermans, I was like, man, I can't wait till we get a modern film with some good action scenes. I got that, but that's all I got.
So you can't even forgive him as an actor.
He just doesn't do it. There's nothing about him. Like, he should be a Terminator. That's that's a role for him. But it's probably not. I don't know if it's his fault or the directors like wants him to be serious. I don't get it.
I'm sick of this, Tasha. You need to end this argument. If you want it to end forever, watch the movie.
Are you still talking about Man of Steel?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about WandaVision. That's why I was keeping quiet.
We were, but he brought it back with his example. He brought in Superman to the example.
To me, WandaVision, I liked it. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was cool. So
I thought it was good for what it was. I thought it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
Especially because they did start out kind of rocky.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the first 2 episodes. Jada was the one who told me. Because Jada was into it. So Jada watched the first one, and I was like, I was hearing about it because I was listening to podcasts and shit, and they were all like hating the first episode and the second episode. So I kept asking Jada after every Friday, I'd be like, did you watch this one? And she'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, did you like it? She'd be like, no. And then the third one came on, and I was like, you like it? She was like, yes. Then I started watching it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because that's when they realize the people on the outside of the I mean, Tasha.
Wait. Tasha, are you going to watch it?
plan on watching it? Do you care?
No.
All right,
you should watch it, though.
Well, the people are saying, they're saying, watch this because it's going to be connected to Doctor Strange. I wouldn't say clue why. I have
that's not the. Yeah, I wouldn't do that I wouldn't do it for that reason. I would just say watch it because it's a good show. After episode 2.
Yeah, it's all right. It's 30 minutes. You ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
That's all. Yeah. Because here's why I'm testing movies or shows. If I'm on my phone, if I'm watching it and you're not, and I'm not invested in it, and I'm on my phone most of the time, it's all right show. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I said, Mandalorian wasn't the greatest show, but I was interested in what was going on at the time, so I wasn't on my phone as much. Same with Cobra Kai, Doom Patrol, The Boys, like all these shows that I really like. Not just the action in it, but I cared about what they were talking about or what they had to do. You know, you could have a lot of action on there, and if I don't give a fuck, I'm not going to watch it. This is another thing I want to talk about Tom Holland is I think he's great as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, but the Spider-Man movies, like the first one, Homecoming, I don't think is as great as a lot of people hype it up to be.
That's Isaiah's movie, so don't tell him that. He fucking loves.
No, I can understand that, because out of all the ones, I can see somebody liking Homecoming more than the other ones because it's a lot more energy to it, or a lot more stuff's going on, I guess. But I just didn't care for it. I remember when we watched it with Nikki and Kenny, and then Kenny read something about how somebody said the Amazing Spider-Man, the one with Andrew Garfield, was better. And they're like, oh no, that's bullshit. And I was like, yeah. Because I was almost about to be
like it is all the shit.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's just as good. Because I did like the Andrew Garfield one grew on me. I did like it. But the second one, that's the worst one. Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 are the worst Spider-Man movies compared to all the other ones.
Yeah, I just like the first one. The second one with Jamie Foxx, I was kind of like,
Did you like the first 2 Tobey Maguire ones?
Yeah, Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah. Or he has the best movie. I might prefer Tom Holland, but I say Spider-Man 2 is my favorite Spider-Man live action film to this day. So even though I say Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man / Peter Parker,
Uh-huh.
The movie
I
you're
still
saying
think
the other one.
Yeah.
the other movie, Tobey Maguire, I thought he's cool. And it, as for somebody that's kind of like comparing him to like all the other iterations of
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I think he does a good job. But Spider-Man 2 to me
Mhm.
really was great. You know, like
So Tom Holland has a tendency to be borderline annoying. Like,
I don't know if
but
that's him
it's
or
on
that's the
purpose.
script problem.
It's for a reason though, because he's
Mhm.
like the annoying teenage kid.
Yeah.
So I get it. But
Mhm.
it to me it becomes borderline. Okay, like figure the shit out by now.
For
Mr.
real.
Stark. Oh God, Mr. Stark. all right.
And that first one, the Tom Holland, what's it called? First, what's it called? Spider-Man: Homecoming, keeps on fucking up all the time. Keeps on
Yeah.
doing all this messed up shit, and does not learn anything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's all like, "Nah, I don't want to be an Avenger right now." I'm like, for the whole fucking movie, you've been complaining about being an Avenger.
And
Then
now
all
you
of a
don't-
sudden, out of the blue, you don't want. I'm just saying, like, I get it if you explain, like, "Hey, I need to look out for the little man," but you didn't fucking show me that. You just kept on doing shit because you wanted to impress Tony Stark. There was not a moment in the movie where I felt like, oh, he's probably thinking like, yeah, I should probably be low key because while all the Avengers are like taking all these big evil threats, I'm the only one that can go through each neighborhood privately and taking care of the small crime, which helps out still. Didn't get that shit, so it's just like, nah, I'm just not gonna become an Avenger for no fucking reason because it's a movie that the script acquires it or something. So, but I would get if I said that to like Spider-Man fans, people who just like looking at Spider-Man and be like, oh, he's in a movie. That's okay. Like, they have those diehard Spider-Man fans who forget the point why I like it or why they liked it Spider-Man in the first place.
Mm.
So I didn't really care for it. But if somebody likes it, that's cool.
Mhm.
I don't know. If you were my age, I'm like, all right, man, we need to talk. Anybody younger?
It's for the younger generation.
Yeah. Like I said, I like Batman and Robin. I thought that was a great film growing up.
I don't even remember that movie.
Yeah. And now that I'm grown, it's all right.
Let me put this prediction on tape. I feel like the Spawn remake is going to be fucking horrible.
Who's supposed to be Spawn?
Jamie Foxx.
Seriously?
What's
Now-
his name?
Oh.
Your guy, Tasha. Your guy is going to be him. The guy from Mount Eden.
No, that's
What
Blade.
is his name?
That's Blade.
Mahershala Ali's playing Blade, yeah.
I mean Blade. I meant to say
Oh.
Blade, not Spawn.
Oh, okay.
I was
Because
like,
when
they're
you said to
doing
me terrible,
Spawn.
My
I'm
bad.
like, horrible.
I'm just thinking black superhero. My bad.
Okay, so
I think the new Blade is going to be fucking horrible.
you think so?
Uh,
Have you seen
I can
stuff,
see it.
or are you just anticipating it's gonna
Nope.
be bad?
Nope. Because if you think of the background of the character, like Wesley Snipes really did martial arts. He really studied for that shit. Like not for that, but it's just who he was.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
So to take him out and put somebody in that's not really from that background, I think it's going to be terrible.
It's not
And
gonna
it's gonna be-
authentic.
It's gonna be PG-13 in a vampire movie where you have to fight and kill vampires.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
I just think he's
him?
not going to be convincing. Like, I don't feel like he can fill those shoes. They should have. I'm sure there's another black martial artist out there that
Mhm.
they could have put, but the reason Blade was so cool is because Wesley Snipes knew how to do all of that shit, so it translates in the movie.
Yeah.
Like his martial arts translates. If you get somebody that doesn't know martial arts and say, "Hey, we need you to do some martial arts shit,"
Mhm.
then it looks
Yeah.
like
Well-
you're acting.
What I liked about the Blade movie is that they didn't promote it as a Marvel film. It was just like a new line.
Right? We didn't know.
Yeah.
We knew nothing about that.
Nah, I thought it was just an original idea that wasn't based off of comics. I was like, this
Mhm.
was cool.
Right.
This is dope. Yeah. And now I'm thinking like, if it's Marvel and it's gonna be PG-13,
Hmm.
it's gonna be
It's
a
gonna be
kid
different
version.
energy. But I
Yeah.
mean, realistically, I think it would be hard to recast Wesley Snipes as Blade, period. But
But no,
that goes with any character that we know from another actor that we really liked, and then hearing
Okay,
that they're gonna recast.
So the
I
thing
can see
is,
that.
for Blade to translate the way it did, you had to know martial arts. Like it worked for Wesley Snipes because he comes from a fighting background, so it translated. Like it translated like he's a vampire or whatever, that aspect, but the badass part is he knows how to fight. So if you can imagine what Mahershala's gonna do if he doesn't know that, it's gonna be a lot of cut scenes where he's throwing a guy, a cut scene where he's throwing somebody a kick.
Unless you got some like the fight choreographer that really
Yeah.
trains properly, maybe that.
And he better be amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just that's a possibility, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know for
Either
sure.
way, it'll be manipulated somehow, unless Mahershala, like Wesley, knows martial arts or something similar to where he can make it convincing. I don't know, but I think Blade, I think Wesley Snipes. So I think it would
Yeah.
just be hard, period.
Yeah.
So
No,
But
it's
like I
gonna
said,
it's gonna be
same thing
hard
was with
regardless.
Batman,
Yeah.
and
But if you do a reimagination, you want to get somebody with that can translate. You want somebody to translate that shit, like bring that same element to it.
Mhm.
Because if Wesley Snipes wasn't who he was, I don't think Blade would be as good. You guys remember the Blade, the TV show?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Right, because it was bullshit. because it had sticky fingers playing Blade.
Yeah, I'll say.
That's pretty
You remember that shit?
Ali. I like Mahershala Ali more as an actor, more than Sticky Fingers.
And but that's what I'm saying. I don't want to take nothing away from him. He's an amazing actor,
Mhm.
but it would be like I don't know what to compare it to. It's like he's an amazing actor for what he does. He doesn't necessarily do the
Yeah.
martial arts shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was amazing in Luke Cage. He
Yeah,
had a
but
scene
that was
where
a
he's just
different kind of
beating the guy
character,
up.
like you're saying. Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't martial arts. It was like I'm just beating the shit out of him because I'm this big, this crazy dude.
What about
But-
Michael Jai White?
No, he spawned.
No, he can't because he was Spawn
Spawn.
and he's
Yeah.
too old now.
I'm just saying, like that kind of person. Because I was gonna say,
If you could find somebody like that, yes.
if he wasn't already a big character, and if he was still here, Chadwick Boseman as Blade, because of his background in some kind of I forgot what fight.
But are you talking about like him being Blade and not Black Panther? Like if they were
just thinking like
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people that could fill
Yeah.
that role, because obviously he couldn't and can't now, but just
Yeah.
like just picturing other people that could work for that.
But that's the
he
thing, like
a fit?
even I mean I don't know, like it's hard to tell because like this Chadwick, I didn't see him like fighting in Black
even
Panther.
as
Yeah,
Black Panther?
yeah. So if we're talking about somebody that knows martial arts
Yeah.
and a good actor, you know, you have to think of like other people. Like, yeah, I can see Michael B. Jordan because you're thinking like, oh, he was great fighting in Creed or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't really
But
know
he
too
was
many.
boxing though.
Boxing,
Yeah,
different kind of
So I
fighting.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know too many other like people that know karate.
Right. It's like I'd rather them get somebody. Tom Holland, we never heard him before Spider-Man, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
I'd rather them get somebody nobody knows. I'd rather get somebody that I'm sure there's black actors that know martial arts that are trying to come up.
Right.
Mhm.
I'd rather you know who would have did good? The guy who did the voice of Spider-Man. The
think so?
comic. Yes.
As Blade.
Yes.
What's
I think
his
he
name?
would have
I
been a
think I've never
good.
seen that one.
He would have been good. The
can't-
guy from
Dope. He's in Dope.
Dope. He's in a lot of shit right now.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
as the young black guy. He
The,
would've been-
the Get Down. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that.
he was in the Get Down.
Oh,
He
okay,
knows
I think
karate.
that's
In the Get Down, he knows karate. He's doing karate shit in the Get Down.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's his whole
But yeah,
thing.
no, that makes sense
But
because
could do-
then
but
if
he-
you
but you
get
know-
an unknown, then there's
Get
less-
somebody
less
unknown,
pressure.
though.
But you also have that look. You have to have that look too. Of Blade, like you got to look at him like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
I see what
somebody
you're
can't
saying.
fuck with. Like I get Mahershala Ali has that look. It's like, oh, that's a motherfucker you
Mhm.
wanna fuck with.
Yeah.
But
Compared
it's
to
going to be I've Josh, the way you dissect these movies, you're going to be annoyed when it comes to the fighting scenes of Mahershala Ali because they're going to chop the shit out of these scenes.
at least. Well, I'm gonna say this. Maybe it could be better than the last Blade Week movie we got. Maybe I'll compare it to that. Blade
You
3.
can't though
Trinity.
because even though it was a bad Blade movie, Wesley was still good
even
though.
like even in part 2, there was some like bad CGI that doesn't hold too well up. So
Right, that's the
I was into
CGI.
that.
But
yeah,
but we're talking about the character himself.
yeah. You know, like I said, if you make another one, that's cool. If I don't like it, I'm just gonna watch the original one.
Right, right.
That's as simple as that. Like, yeah, it's cool to get
Like Coming to
another.
America.
That's all I'll say. I'm the type of person that's not gonna like these movies.